So this was a trade that came up from Saturday, and one of the more common setups that I try to look for. I'm anticipating a drift on the favourite, but one of the main things is that both the first favourite and the second favourite are approaching crossover points. So even though I'm about to enter a position slightly below twos, I think it's going to be at 196. Okay, so it's the same risk-reward ratio, each tick above and below the entry point. But if we were to get above 2, then each tick represents a 2-to-1 ratio. So for every potential tick lost, there could be 2 ticks gained. So it's an excellent risk-reward ratio. And if you think about what we're probably trying to achieve, it's a case that, if you were right 50% of the time, but you were getting a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio, with your trades, then you're going to do pretty well over the long run. But we're just through the 5 minutes to go, and it's it's a relatively high quality race. But some of the indicators I have here are going to tell me that it is going to be a bit of a volatile market, and you can see that now resistance is starting to appear for the favourite. So I'm going to enter a trade in. It's actually 197, although I was matched at 196. So at this point, I'm thinking, I've got a £500 liability in the market, or just shy of. So I'm just going to place exit orders above. If it's a more volatile market, then you could argue, listen, maybe just let it run, let it breathe for a little while. But this is what helps my, mindset, my bank management, is just to place little small exit orders. And it just means if the trade was to move 3 or 4 ticks in my favor and then go against me and then stop out, think about what you're doing to the overall loss position. The downside is minimized, and even if you save your downside by just a few pounds, that all adds up over the course of a trading year, especially if you're going to trade 5,000 or 1,000 or 10,000 events or something like that. So, we're in a pretty good position. It's certainly not moving against us. And now we're thinking, if it could just push through twos, it would be a really good trade. Now, what we're not seeing is much support yet for the second favourite. And the biggest catalyst for change in this market is if the favourite came down and broke through the fours, which is another crossover point. So it's really a case now of waiting and hoping that it's going to move in our favour, but we've got a stop loss placed at 1.89. I think that in these sort of trades, if it got through 1.91, then it's going against us, and then we've got it wrong. We just need to get out of it. You can also see that 1.89 is below the current traded range. No money matched down at that level, so that would indicate that we've got this wrong. So we are seeing, this resistance really starting to develop for the favourite. And we've got to hope that there's quite a bit of money there at twos. Either that's going to be eaten up or it's going to be removed. Something's going to happen. And there's an interesting dynamic emerging here, because the second favourite is still getting quite a lot of resistance as well. There's absolutely no support for the second favourite at this stage, although I do suspect that's about to change, because perhaps the market deems 4.4, 4.5 is a bit of value. So favourite is right on the cusp of twos. Let's see if it can push through, and if it does, you would expect it to go certainly right up to the top of my exit orders, which is a reasonable expectation. It's sort of one of the more recent traded ranges, is right up to about 2.12. But I'm in a very comfortable position. I've got a small stop loss set, which is now being whittled away as it's broken through twos, and let's see where it can get up to. So I've pretty much placed half of my exit orders already into the market. I'm just going to place a few more. You can see the second favourite now starting to get a little bit of support, eventually pushes through fours, and we should be in an excellent position. So you could argue that I should remove the exit orders because, the second favourite has broken through fours. This is going to be a good trade. But markets don't tend to move in straight lines. They go up and down, up and down, up and down. But the prevailing trend for this trade is that we are going to be profitable, hopefully. And I'm going to move my stop up to just about entry at 1.94, and I can really just let this run and be very comfortable that we've made a decent trade from a pretty low risk, high reward strategy. Just center the ladders there, nothing really has changed. It looks like there's been a dramatic shift in price, but it's quite a useful thing to center the ladders at any given point in time, because you can make an assessment of whether the short-term prices are moving in your favor or against you. So I mentioned at 2.12, I thought might be a sort of an area where this might hover around a little bit and sort of snap forward and snap backwards over and above that price. So I'm just bringing a few orders down because we are looking to be fairly quickly on time here. Only 30 seconds to go to post time. So I need to start getting out of this position. I've still got £140 of orders to get back into the market. And of course, we're in such a good position here that we can hedge when we need to. So backing the second favourite would have been a good trade here as well. That would have been very profitable, and they were very much indirectly related to one another, and that's what you often get whenever you have a good solid favourite in and around the price of twos, and a second favourite who is still strong in the market, but obviously not as strong as the main favourite. So I'm just trying to get out of the final orders here, see if we can get them matched, and just pop that one down there and see if we can get that completed. And they are ready to go, so important to get out of this position here. The stop loss, what I might do if stop losses in a profitable trade is, if I'm not worrying about my exit orders, is to think about bringing the stop up to maybe 5 or 6 ticks below and just have a bit of a trailing stop that way. But a really good trade, pretty stress-free, and it all seemed to work out well using the